What's up, everybody? Getting ready to start here in a couple minutes. Like literally 30 seconds. Love you, girl. What's up, people? How are you? Let me get on this. Alright, we are here. Let's see where we're at. Let me turn this volume down so it's not double volume. Alright, so you guys have been seeing the content lately. Doing super well game-wise, right? I'm in the top 1% of all console players. Well, all three consoles, I guess you'd say. PC, which isn't a console, I know, but Xbox and PlayStation, everything but mobile. So you see the rankings there about literally a little over 4 weeks ago. So that's like literally like a little over 30 days. And if you add up the hours, it's less than that. And we've gotten up here to up with the best of the best. And the thing that, if you guys have been following, you notice is as you go higher, the effery, if you will, the uckery, gets pretty ridiculous, which I have another video coming out tomorrow, but there's two huge issues that I see plaguing eFootball, right? Each game has their issues, so if you want to boil it down to just the biggest ones, UFL, it's the exploits. The development company cannot get rid of these exploits that players can use that aren't supposed to be in the game, but they help players win the game. So it takes away all the skill-based, performance. It doesn't matter, because if you do these exploits, you're going to win. FC, as always, is having issues with, they just made the pressure tactics, like they nerfed them. Once they took away all the shooting exploits and stuff, they had some bad issues with players using super high defensive line, right? And then in that super high defensive line, the AI would press you like crazy, and it became ridiculous. So many tacklebacks, so much nonsense. Now they've nerfed it, but apparently not good enough. So a lot of people are disappointed in where that game's at right now. However, the one thing that either of the other two games have that eFootball has is the overabundance of AI assistance. The defense is crazy. When I go play other football games, even just to do comparisons, the lack of assistance over there, it's overwhelming. Like, you're starting to play defense and you get so used to the defending principles in eFootball, it messes you up. Because as realistic as the game is, having the ability to sprint boost like crazy right at a defender locking onto the ball, or your AI assist run like crazy at the defender or the attacker, is nuts. And that was added in to help lower level, low skill players that couldn't properly defend, that weren't able to jockey, and then commit to a tackle. Right? So they add in this super stupid, overpowered assistance, and then also the pressure button. The only game that has a pressure button where your player locks onto the ball and runs full speed at a player. Now, can you chop players up with this too? Yes, but it doesn't mean that it can't be difficult. It doesn't mean it takes away from the realism of the game. Okay, so then besides that, you have the real issue at the underlying, the underlying problem, I should say, which is the low-level players in eFootball. Because Konami, I use the Star Wars example. George Lucas created the movie. It became a cult classic. It became like a whole different thing, and he made a ton of money off of it, but it also meant that the fans went crazy, and he had to stay true to certain things with the fans. If he didn't, they would go crazy, right? They wouldn't let it be, and his numbers would take a big hit, because it's like a family out there that wants something. FC got together, even as toxic as their community is, and they've gotten a huge patch and another pretty big patch just a few days ago or a week ago or something. It's about a week now. eFootball hasn't had anything like that. eFootball players have not come together, and so, for me, for instance, I have a long history with the Konami's football games, right, which eFootball derives from. And up until a month ago, with certain people that I respect and took their word for it, didn't even know this was a good game. So what that means is that when we start playing this game, like once I started playing it, I realized, okay, this is a good game, but why wasn't this out there? Like, this is an insane game. How come this game isn't getting lauded? Well, the reason why is because the low-skill players. What do you see mainly is that low-skill nonsense, right? You watch the video I put out today, I put out another one tomorrow. You don't see a lot of that good football. Tomorrow I'll give you the examples of what I'm talking about. Many of you know the nonsense that goes on in this game. So if you took away all the nonsense, is there still some BS where the goalies are a little wonky in eFootball and stuff like that? Yes, every game has their little issues, though. That would be fine. But when you add in all the overbearing assistance to help these lower level players, the stuff like Smart Assist, that's where the game goes off the cliff, right? Even when I first started playing, Smart Assist was only allowed in events, but the meta, right? This quick counter, rush, constantly spam through balls, right? Along with the scripting that goes into it, which you can call it balancing, or you can call it momentum, right? But it's not momentum when one player's whooping another player because they're just better, and they let the other player start doing better, right? They make sure that the other player is getting all the bounces, right? The missed shots go to the better team. Stuff like that starts happening. And it's so obvious, right? So if you take that out and it's just pure football and you have to actually work to get better, well then you literally have the best football game ever. Literally ever, because as these games go on, they get more and more details based on the technology, and eFootball without the nonsense would literally be the best football game ever. The most true-to-life football game, and it would be an absolute blast. What makes eFootball not a blast? I'm about to get to your comment too, Carlos. I'm going to read that in a sec. What makes eFootball not a blast? Let me put it to you this way in a question form. How many times do you guys go to play eFootball? Because I used to have this in FC before the patch. And this is how you know when a game's in big trouble. Games are supposed to be fun. We're supposed to want to play, right? eFootball is a super fun game and makes us want to play. But how many of you guys have gone to play divisions or events or something, mainly divisions, and you really want to play eFootball, but you end up dreading it or not playing at all because you know when you turn it on, you're not going to play the football that this game can produce. You're going to play some nonsense glitcher that just wants to spam through balls, or that lag switches, or that just spams crosses or whatever. You're not going to play football. You're going to play some joker player. How many of you have done that? I guarantee you, just like myself, there's a lot of you out there that go to want to play this game. You have the time, you're ready, and you don't end up playing, or you end up dreading it because of those players. Think about that to yourself. How many times have you looked at playing the game and said, nah, dude, because you know what you're about to face. And you know it's about to put you in a bad mood. You know competitively it's about to be BS because you're going to outplay the opponent. Or maybe you might not outplay him, but you know that you just want to play real football, and you're not going to get real football. You're going to get an opponent that's just going to be spamming this, that, and the other, and it takes away every aspect of wanting to play the game. Think about that. There lies the problem. Alright, so greetings, man. I hope you're doing well. In my opinion, those ratings do reflect the real level there is. Many players using Smart Assist in past level 1, full of legends in higher positions. So Carlos is talking about one big part being the team, which if you see my team, I have a God Squad, 1,000%. So I'll give you my take on that in a second. Even having 17% victories, I'm enjoying like a kid. Yeah, I don't really care about the wins either, for sure. Like, the biggest reason, my motivation to win, though, is that whenever I do these videos without the victories, as you guys know, that gets the doubters, right? The wins get the people in to realize, like, you can play good football. And then when I'm showing my highlights, and at the end of it, you know, there's a winner in the thumbnail, you can put Division 2 and then I'm showing my highlights of real football, people tend to pay attention more. Same with tactics and stuff. You get what I'm saying? So I fully agree. It's not about the wins at all, because look at some of these games. I have one on the video I have coming out tomorrow. You'll get to see it, where I just totally dominate the opponent. The stats show it, like most of my games, but then the scoreline doesn't show it. You know, 12 shots to 3 and losing 3-2. Literally 3 shots, 3 goals. Shit like that. It's insanity. It's insanity. But here's what I'm going to say. All 3 development companies are greedy as hell. And it is an absolute shame how much money it takes to get all these good players in Konami. It is insanity. Had to get a drink, sorry. But while it is insanity, and it should be grinding for those players, or if you want to make money, go ahead, but make some of these players grindable for the free-to-play players. It's bullshit that free-to-play players don't get a shot at more players like these top-level players. So 100% the system's messed up. However, I played plenty of free-to-play teams that are both skilled and then also the ratty players, and I can tell you that no matter what players you have on a God Squad, you need skill more than those players. Now, even matched, like if you versus you came across and you're evenly matched and one player's free to play, one player is a God Squad, yes, the God Squad's going to win. 100%. They definitely do feel better on the ball and this and that. It's not just a sham like UFL. Like UFL, most of the players don't matter. You can have a player with 60 passing and he passes just as good as a player with 99 passing. Let me turn on my air conditioner real quick. Or open my vent, I should say. It's gonna be a couple hours. Oh man. So what I was getting at is that the players do definitely help, but it's not this crazy thing. And as you go forward and gain more skill, you see what I'm talking about. So for instance, if I use a team of, like obviously I put a lot of money in, so I'm just going to use these for events. But even just these players would cost, like this Vinny, Mbappe, a couple bucks. Bellingham too. Neymar was $16. You got him in a deluxe edition. That Messi was $16. That Messi's ridiculous, by the way. That I have in my regular team, my reserves right now, but he sometimes starts. Caicedo I got for free. Tony Adams for free. Diaz for free. Pep was a couple bucks. De Jong was with the team pass. I think it was like $4 or $8. Sorry. So you have like the mid-level pay for players. $15 altogether got me Odegaard, Holland, and Sorloth, plus like several other players. And then a bunch, the other players I sold away though because they just weren't going to make it. But yeah, so that they are severely in a bad place with that too. I think the cost of these players you see on screen is ridiculous. Obviously, they're getting rich from it, but it doesn't matter that they're getting rich from it. Nope. Okay. Yeah. Because I thought he was going to start whining. So I was going to say in the cage. Obviously, they're getting rich from it. So as long as players are buying them, but it's one of those things where that's never going to change. Now, their argument would be you can keep these players forever. It's not year to year like FIFA. So, for instance, if you spend $150 to get the 3 players, you empty the box, which I've never had to do. I've had really good luck with spins, but let's just assume $150. Their point is every year you spend $100 on Ultimate Team, right? And you never pack R9, you never pack the top this or that. Like I've packed Hullet, I've packed their rewards have gotten better, but each year you're going to pack a few stud players, like the best, or sometimes not even the best, just upper level. And then after that year, though, they go away. What they're saying in eFootball is you might spend $150 and get the 3 amazing players, but those players are going to be in your squad for year after year after year. Now, that's if you don't decide to keep spinning, which I can tell you I won't, unless they make these players null and void, right? Like, I'm not going to go, so right now I can tell you, and this is just because I have a channel too. If I didn't have a channel, this wouldn't be my team. But within this team, I can tell you I'll spin for like Patrick Vieira, a Hullet, just because they're insane players, and I'm playing at the top level. But that's also because I have a channel, and some of the players I get would be for content reasons too. But I do 100% think that they need to make these players more grindable, without a doubt. They need to make these players more grindable. 110%. And since they don't, you just have to know coming into this game, like either you're going to go free to play, which I have a video on that too. There's 3 levels in my opinion. Totally free to play, mid-level, right, where you put in X amount of money but you don't break the bank, which if I went that mid-level, maybe every once in a while I do a couple spins, but it's kind of like gambling. Like every once in a while I'll buy a couple lottery tickets, but I'll never buy those scratch-offs, and then just keep buying and buying. People over the course of their life spend so much money on those on those scratch-offs, and almost everybody's operating in the negative. Meaning, if you didn't have the unlimited money, I would more pay attention to these type of players: the Vinny Jr., the Jude Bellinghams, these Mbappe. These are sick players. Are they as good as overall these players? No, but if you had some money, at least you wouldn't gamble it away, right? For these type of players, you would be able to guarantee it with these. So, even though I do want to fight that battle, and I wish that more players would fight that battle, but it's just not going to happen. Some people don't mind it. Some people see, oh, I get to keep them year after year after year, right? Whereas FC, you pay like I said, $100 a year. So within 2 years, you pay $200, and you might get 2 or 3 of these great players. But in FC, I can tell you that, especially after the patch, it is a lot easier to grind and get those. Like, I pay for the $100, but then I also am able to do PlayStation tournaments and get a ton of FC points. There is no eFootball tournaments right now associated with PlayStation or anywhere where you can win extra eFootball coins. By extra, I'm talking like 500 coins. That's what it is in FC. So right now, if I was an FC player, I'd be playing all these PlayStation tournaments. Some with my Ultimate Team, some are like national teams, and they vary. But your reward is FC points, which is their version of like what the E-coins are here. And so you can come into a new game and have like 10, 12,000 FC points, and then you're well on your way. I don't spend $1 on FC when I play, outside of the Ultimate Team Edition, so 100. Here, you don't have nothing like that. So every time you spin, you could be going 50, $100 deep, all the way up to 150. So by far, the most expensive game, if you want the best of the best players, if you want a team like this, you're going to have to put hundreds and hundreds. This team alone, which is overkill, right? But also a lot of the overkill, remember, I double packed Cantona Cruyff. I double packed, who else was it? Carlos and Cruyff I got back to back. I double packed, there's another one that I double packed. Who did I double pack to? David Villa and Suarez. Just like Cantona and Cruyff early on. But a lot of times I wasn't even going for the certain player, and they just came out first. So you got to think, some of these guys, it's not like I just said, I'm spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning. Sometimes I was going for Czech, and I got Augenthaler and Beckenbauer, right? I was going for Samuel Eto'o when I got Cruyff and Cantona, which thank God, because I love both of them, especially Cruyff's a beast, right? When I got Schneider, I was going for Kohler, right? When I got Totti the same way. I was going for Gattuso when I got Totti and Pirlo. And Pirlo's used more than Gattuso now, so. Alright, so then Boomfa says, I was looking to get Team of the Year Rodri last year, in-game 102. Okay, in-game, in FIFA. Okay, so then in eFootball, he's saying there are tournaments, but you can't buy paid players with it. They should change that. There's a team, the name is... Okay, so hold on. So Boomfa first. Boomfa, you're saying there are tournaments, but what is the reward of the tournaments? Oh, there's not. Is there? There are tournaments throughout the year, but you can't. Here, one second. Let me take care of something real quick. Hey, I just did a video with you, DJ, on. Tomorrow it's coming out. It's so funny how I nailed you down. But anyway, you guys will all see that tomorrow. But anyway, so going back up, let's focus on the question. So there are tournaments throughout the year, but you can't buy paid players with it. What do you get? What's the reward? All right, and then Carlos. There's a team name. The Jude Bellingham is a beast. Nice, Carlos. You spun for him. Good stuff. But I just read something else. What did you say? Even having... Have it. Yeah, so Boomfa, let me know. I'm talking about the points. Oh, you get eFootball points. Yeah, see, so that's stupid. So what are these tournaments? How do you register for them, for instance? So like right now in FC, if you go, you hold down the PlayStation button, or I don't know what it is on Xbox, and then you go down in like the PlayStation menu, it says PlayStation tournaments. It has like tournaments every hour, and there's like 16 positions. You enter, and then 16 players. It's single elimination. The winner gets at 500 FC points, and there's no cost to get in, so you can play them over and over. So every year in FC, I would go into the game with like 12,000 FC points. You get like 4,600 FC points from the Ultimate Edition. Then I would get like 6,000 something. Now that's not even playing like crazy. Some players just nonstop play, 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 play. And then it doesn't say your name or nothing, Jan, so don't think you're going to get 15 minutes of fame, but it has the stuff in there. Alright, so I have it. That's awesome you have that Jude. I was lucky to get Team of the Year. Carlos, can you elaborate what you were saying when you said there's a team with the name 3K US team? There's a team, the name is 3K US. What were you talking about there, Carlos? Exactly, Boomfa. 100% agree. These players need to be grindable. Now, I heard that we're all getting a Bergkamp coming up. That's great. But Bergkamp, dude, is not... He's not even a Bobeto. He's definitely not like a Schneider or Cruyff. You know what I mean? I love Bergkamp, don't get me wrong, but they butched him over at FC. I'm sure he's good in eFootball. Don't get me wrong, but they need to make it where you can grind and get a Hullet, a Vieira. Oh, there's a team that costs $3,000. I gotcha. And you saw like the thing on there. I gotcha. But yeah, so Konami's making a ton of money, which also makes it a bit of a problem because when they switched over to quote unquote esports, their whole thing was going towards like online. That's what they meant by esports. People don't realize that. Like now we think of esports as like FC Pro or like the eWorld Championships, like all that stuff that we see. But when they were talking about esports, you gotta remember when they started this, they were talking about competing online. Like this is an esport right now. Like the game now is all online based. Like this league is esport because we're online playing against each other. So when they named it Pro Evolution eFootball Pro Evolution Soccer, they wanted to be like eFootball, like the esport of football. That was the whole point, to go to a full mode like this. Now they ended up calling it Dream Team because originally they did call their Legends Icons. But as you know, FC pretty much has that name covered, like everyone thinks. So you got Dream Team over here, then you have Epics and Showtime, and they went the route of like the card game names. Like you have Epic cards in, because I used to play Magic the Gathering in League of Legends. It's called Legends of Runeterra. Strategy card games, dude, they were awesome. I got super high ranked in those, but that's a whole nother world. Thought about doing some content on it because I love those games, but you have to really do those games justice to cover that. Maybe eventually on a second channel, because now they have them online, which is great. But I love games like that, like strategy games are awesome, and that's where they got the names like Epic and Showtime and stuff like that. That comes from those cards. You have different levels of cards and that stuff. No, they were originally called Icons. 100,000%. Marlon, Anthony, Pez, you can watch the full-on documentary, which if you guys watch my breakdown of the history of the game tied to my history with it, I have footage from that. And Marlon Anthony, literally, dude, he did a history of FIFA 2 if you're interested in it, but this dude is insane. The best video game documentary, period. And he's brilliant. And he gives you every detail of every single thing. It will remind you, like, whenever you started playing the games, you'll remember, like, I still remember the video store back in the day and picking out the game based on the cover. I still remember how much I loved ISS 64, the International Superstar Soccer. But it was like 99, I forgot the exact year. But when they started with the Legends, it was called Icons. They were called icons in the game. Now, this was before online. This was before they came out. They came out with it as like a brilliant idea before. So to give you guys a little history lesson, Zidane used to be in eFootball, but it was back when it was PES. They used to have Zidane. Then, whenever the Brazilian league, they had the full licensing to the Brazilian league. That was when Ronaldo R9 was in PES. Not yet, Andrew. Not yet. You can see where I'm at right here. That's why I put it up. So R9 has been in PES before, but it was when he was ending his career in the Brazilian league. So think of how long ago that was. El Fenomeno was in PES. And so that was back, he wasn't even an icon in PES. So that's how far back they go. And they have legend, what they called icons. And they had like Cafu, Beckham. Beckham was one of the first ones back in his Mohawk days. And they put his actual free kick in. Before that, though, they would put Scholesy in, but they didn't have his hair right. They would put the players in, they didn't have their names. So what I'm trying to say is Konami originated this whole idea of putting these iconic players in the game, which it should be really called icons, and really they coined it. But one of the biggest problems, which you'll see again in my video tomorrow, is FC, even though so a lot of stuff was originated by Konami, has always been considered the second tier game. So true football fans have always kept Konami's realistic approach alive, right? Konami has tried to veer off before and go arcade, and the players were like, dude, make it realistic. That's what we want. Otherwise, we'll just play FIFA. They have the licensing. They have all that. Like, if you want, we love your game because it's a better football game. And they would have to, like, battle them. Just like I use Star Wars. The fan base started to have to battle George Lucas, who started going to Hollywood. Konami started looking at the money too much. They have investors, the whole nine. They would go arcade. Now, that brings me full circle to the biggest issue. Again, and this is really done in depth in my video tomorrow, but what I'll tell you right now is there's two cancers that are causing A, this game not to get the plaudits it deserves, B, causing all those youngsters I'm talking about. Every day a new youngster that steps up that is done with his little kid games, and now he's playing football, and he's 11, 12, 13, 10, not like the age where he's finally going to like, all right, I want to really play, I'm going to start learning tactics, and similar to my son's age, right? And they're going to play FC, and they're going to play eFootball, and they're going to ultimately decide. Not only that, but guess what do these kids do nowadays? YouTube, like crazy. And what's the number one game that you see all around? FC. And what's the main thing you see with eFootball? A lot of crap, right? There's a lot of crap because a large amount of players aren't playing the game the right way. Look at the meta. Look at the biggest YouTube creator I've seen so far as looking for the most views has been that Medincina. And he does the game such shame. Showing all the crap, showing the nonsense, saying, this is my tactic. He takes credit for originating that tactic where you spam crosses, and then you go get those low-level players that are just 7 foot tall, and then boost them up all the way on just their jumping and heading, and spam crosses. He beat this insane pro from Monaco. I think he was Monaco. He was a former world champion in eFootball. The dude beat him, but then he beat the dude 4-2, and he makes this whole big deal, makes a video on it, says, hire me for coaching, and all he did the whole game was get his ass kicked, but spam crosses. I mean, the AI assistance was crazy. The game was crazy. And I don't think he realized, like, it made him look terrible. Like, it was a huge endorsement for that other player who was making players do things I've never seen. His passing was incredible. So that is the biggest issue, is that the game is now at a point where it's getting shunned for what it's like getting away from its roots, and it's because a large amount of this player base has gone the opposite of what the player base has always stood for with Konami's football games. And then Konami, being how they always have been, lean towards where the money's at. So a lot of these low-level players are putting the money in, and so they go, oh, let's add in smart assist, let's add in momentum, let's add in, and it becomes a big scripted nonsense game with all these glitches and stuff due to all this stuff instead of just a pure football game. Exactly, Boomfa. But forget about like, inherently speaking, the younger kids are going to play FIFA because, like you said, it's more arcade. I'm talking about the kids that are turning that age. Like I said, my son, 12, he's playing MLS Next and all this, and so he's playing at a high level. He's ready for the tactical higher level. Like, they're going to choose once it starts getting to where the youngsters get into the ultimate team age, where they're actually learning, okay, the markets, there's no market in eFootball, but they're starting to learn what if they want to go that route with it or not. And because there's no market in eFootball actually could be a great place for those youngsters. But 12, 13, 14, 15, even 17, 18, college level kids don't have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. You got to make the games grindable, because a lot of the players, like for instance, if you're in college, like when I played a lot of these games, right, but I was before the online era, I would be online nonstop, because what do you do in between games and stuff as a high level footballer? You got to rest. You can't go out and party and do all this shit. That's one of the biggest times for gaming is when you're in the sport and you're resting. Those players don't have hundreds and hundreds, dude. It's especially because it's expensive. Like, your lifestyle, when you got to eat healthy and you're living out and like you're aiming to get pro where your sponsors pay for it all, but you're still a youngster trying to make it, right? And so these games could be huge for all these players, but they don't aim for that because of the way it is. There is no market. There is no grinding up, getting coins, going in and buying a player, getting a deal. Maybe I have, look, if there was a market and I bought this player, let's say I bought him, but then I wanted to sell him, maybe I want to sell a Gattuso because I want a Conti. But maybe Conti's so much money, this certain version, so what I would do is, say, put up Gattuso, and then I would put up a little bit with this, I don't know, Tony Adams and Guardiola or whatever. And then I could go get my Conti. They got to do something. If they don't go the market route, they got to do something. All right, so let me read these now. All right, what's good? Division 1. Okay, still remember the Rooney? Yes. So Rooney. So give you guys an idea how I brought this up on stream, but to give you an idea, that reminds me when Boomfa said that, how arcade it was. When Konami started going towards arcade, because FC was killing it, or FIFA was killing it, and it was after like PES 7, or it might have been PES 7 that turned to PES 07 or whatever. But they tried to go arcade, and everyone's like, well, FIFA's got the arcade thing down. All of us players were so disappointed, because from PES like 3, 4, I think it was 4, 5, 6, there were several years in there where Konami was king. Even FIFA players were leaving and playing PES, okay, in North America. Probably all over the world, obviously all over the world, I'm sure. And when they tried to go arcade, everyone said screw that. So when they did, it was when Rooney was his Wonder Boy stage, and then you had Ronaldinho. So you had Rooney and Ronaldinho. Then for like 3 years straight, you had just Rooney. Rooney was so overpowered, and it was so arcade, you could literally just run around the field with him. He was untouchable, to knock off the ball. He was like perfect physicality, could finish anything with either foot, could score headers, jump through the roof, track back, so defensively he was helpful. You could put him at like a box-to-box or a defensive mid and still score like 5 goals. So there's a rule that you couldn't even use Rooney, who's my favorite player ever. I'm looking at I have all of his biographies. I have a ton of stuff, his jersey, everything. I'm looking at it right now. I couldn't even use him for the 3 years straight after Konami started falling off because it was so arcade. He was so untouchable. Not only that, but the other rule around the time, the Eto'o era of Barcelona, me and my friends, we couldn't use Barcelona. We made it a rule. because they were so untouchable. It wasn't real football at all. But those are my dark years of football because that's when Konami didn't stick to their roots. They started trying to go away and their games just fell off. And then playing FIFA, it just wasn't fun, dude. All the realism was gone. All right, Carlos says, for me, being free to play is fine. Having few coins to spend in the player of the week keeps me hooked. Just if Konami removes the smart assist would be great. 100% agree. Smart assist ruins everything. It allows players that don't know football, that aren't going to make good decisions, to have good plays. You're going to shoot near post. It would have been safe. Nope. Smart assist will shoot at far post. You score. You're going to have the ball. Let's say you're passing the ball around your back nonstop, and then all of a sudden the game, or you just press square. Well, the game is going to power up a stunning, perfect through ball to your striker and finish it. You wouldn't have done that. You wouldn't have got that at all. So now you're scoring goals and you're not even using your team. You're just spamming the ball. It's like that one Figueiredo dude that I played that got all mad and was like, I'm suing if you don't take it down, because he was so embarrassed at how he played. Well, because you're a player that's had the game for several years using what's meant to be like a rookie setting, a smart assist, and literally he did it worse than anyone I've ever played. Every time he got the ball, he just immediately power up, pass. Anywhere around the goal, power up, shoot, knowing that smart assist was going to make the best decision. So he gave up the ball 1,000 times. He had 1,000 bad shots, but eventually it powered up a good one, and he would get through on goal. It was the dumbest thing. So basically you're playing against AI. It's so pointless. Barry is eFootball Universe, I think, right, Andrew? Correct me if I'm wrong. People have to mark a game on C2. As a free-to-play player, the idea you need epic cards is a myth. I know. I've said that same thing. I said that earlier. I think that was before you were on, Andrew. I was telling Carlos, as you work, you can absolutely be successful without having these legends. Absolutely. 100%. Rooney better those days. FIFA Rooney was better, but he wasn't realistic, dude. They made him a super player, meaning like he was the first attacker that would play defense good, because he did. You got to give him credit. He was all over the pitch. When Ronaldo CR7 came, he pretty much took the back seat and let Ronaldo be the centerfold, and he was more the worker. He was the piano carrier. Ronaldo CR7 was a piano player. And they had those amazing teams. It was pretty much the last of a dying breed. And then once CR7 left, you had that one golden year, Fergie's last year, where Van Persie came over and Rooney and Van Persie ran the show. Van Persie became the goal scorer. Rooney was the workhorse. And so, but the FIFA years where he was amazing prior to that, he did incredible. Now, I remember the Rooney dude. They did some good Rooneys in Konami, but I remember there was a couple years where this was the early days. This is before online. He was so skinny. It's like Rooney's a unique player, and they were having problems making him. So I remember Konami's Rooney was so off. It was so off for a while. Now, Rooney's signed particularly because he's a cover star there and stuff. They don't have him over here, do they? They don't have him in eFootball anymore, do they? All right, so Carlos says, I didn't see this, so I'm behind. So let me catch up to this. I can use some. Yeah, Carlos, don't. It takes away, trust me. Yesterday I had an opponent using it. I was destroying him. He marched down with Smart Assist and scored within 2 seconds. So I go, watch this, guys. This is Smart Assist for you. Because I got chance after chance, the goalie saving it and stuff, or I'd be just off. I turn on Smart Assist, marched down the same way, and scored. Now, I had outshot the dude like 8-1. But literally, they shoot for you. They do things for you. They clear the ball off the line for you. All these things that you don't get if you don't have Smart Assist. And it wasn't even a fun game, by the way. It was me and another player. I was sick of all these higher level players turning it on. So I showed what it looks like when you turn it on. Dude, it was the most boring game ever because no one's making their own decisions. You literally can be lazy all of a sudden. I even made a mistake a couple times and tried to like dribble it in to where like I could get a good shot off. And I didn't even need to do that because it's going to choose the best case scenario for any position you're in. It's the biggest crock of shit ever. And remember, it wasn't in divisions. They just did that with the update. So they do an amazing update on the passing and add some cool stuff, and they shit on their Picasso. Notice I'm not saying Mozart this time, because Boomfa was right. So they shit on their Picasso. They have this masterpiece, they shit on it. They do this great update, they shit on it. Why add... Who in the hell was like, let's add Smart Assist to everything? It's doing so good in events. Dude, it ruins events. It allows low-level, low-skill players to compete when they wouldn't, to stay in games when they wouldn't. And for all the skilled players that are playing your game, Konami's game the right way, and really showcasing all the awesome stuff you can do with skill, and as you work on skill, instead of showcasing that, you have all these losers using Smart Assist, and it makes for a shittier game because players get lazy. They just start, like I said, pass, shoot, knowing the opponent, the computer, the AI is going to pick the best shot or pass. And so it's not even real football because they'll start passing in low percentage connection range, low percentage shooting range, knowing that even though it's low percentage, typically they have the AI doing it to the best of the ability and from that angle. So you get lazy players just spamming that, and it gets to be a shit game, period. All right, so now reading what Carlos said to Andrew. But there are two teams, one with free, one with pass level 3 or 2, and the other with an epic team using Smart Assist is pretty unfair. 100% agree with that. Once you add in all the other stuff, plus the epic teams, and that's the thing. That's what Konami made a business decision. They know that these low-skill, low-level players, half of them don't even know these players on my screen. They don't remember Kohler being a beast. I remember he came onto my radar when they played United States in a game, and he just dominated. Scored a beautiful header. Next thing you know, I'm looking him up in his Borussia Dortmund highlights. He was a great target man, but he wasn't just a header of the ball, medicine man or medicina. Just give Kohler jumping and heading. No, dude, he was a great target man, just like he is in this game, just like I use him. Rarely ever head with him, and he's in my starting lineup. Hints that most of these eFootball players just shit on the game because of stuff like that. Or they take Carlos and all they do is edge crossing. Dude, I'm getting ready to make him a center mid because he's all over the place. Insane dribbling, great passing. His defense stats are low, but he still plays for the Badge. He's all over the place. I don't even think he has fighting spirit yet. He's insane. He's like an attacking mid from out wide left. Doesn't even have fighting spirit, but he plays like it. But then you'll have players like Medincina that are like, we have a edge crosser, guys. We have an edge. They won't even call him Roberto Carlos. They'll say, we got this new edge crosser. They don't even care. They just look at the exploits. That's it. That's why when players see that I have Carlos here and Kohler, they're just like, oh, you're a crosser. You're a crosser. I remember I put a highlight of Kohler, and it triggered people. And it's like, if you watch my channel, I score. That's why it was a highlight, because it doesn't happen over and over and over, because I'm not a spammer. But these losers make the game that way. And that's the big problem, is that the toxic community in FC was cultivated through the kind of shit that's going on right now with Konami. Through these low-level loser players using Smart Assist that's meant for new players. Through the nonsense where it's not competitor versus competitor. It's competitor versus a competitor using AI. Or a competitor that's spamming this, that, and the other. It's nonsense, dude. And it's cultivating toxicity. That's why I'm so hard on these players. No Rooney now. Yeah, so see, Rooney signed exclusives. FC makes a lot of these players sign exclusivity deals. I'm a new subscriber. Yes, right now it's a Q&A. I think I put that in the title. I can't remember. But yeah, right now we're just going through questions. But yes, I do play. This is my record you can see on here. Appreciate it, you're a new subscriber, Panther. But yeah, I do definitely play. I'll be playing here shortly. Once I answer all the questions, or if there's no other information or no other things that people want to know. I'd rather play against AI or UFL. All right, so to answer that, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Why I take UFL out of my equation, I'll explain. 100% on the Verse AI, although the momentum crap, the overbearing assistance does show its head over here too. So I'm in Division 2 in both. And the way they do this is brilliant, this mode, by the way, where you play user teams, but with the AI controlling them. And as you get higher up, the team quality gets higher, and so does the AI get higher. But a lot of it is scripted, meaning like you go to defend in this level, once you get level Division 2 and higher, you go to defend, and it's like, it'll wait, as you wait. Then once you commit for a tackle, it immediately does a perfectly timed move. So the point is that they obviously anticipate what you're doing, because they know when you press the commands. And so what you'll see is it goes in waves. Like, when they want to score, it's like dang near impossible to defend them. When they don't want you to score, it's dang near impossible for you to score. And then it goes in waves. Hence why I actually have a better record over here. Now, I'm still up there. If you look at the percentage I'm at, right, I'm in the top 1.5%. And then in the AI, right, I'm in the top 1.3%. There's even less players at my level in versus AI because it's so difficult, as you can see here. And so UFL, where UFL comes, where Carlos is saying I'd rather play UFL than play eFootball with Smart Assist. The reason why I still disagree with that, even though I get what you're saying, Smart Assist is so stupid. The reason why I disagree is because the one golden sin that the golden development company sin, I would say, let's call it that Strikers has over there is they made the game where the strongest way to win is exploits. Literally exploits, meaning these are things that, not exploiting tactics, I'm talking exploits like broken glitches in the game. That's what players will use to win. Players that only will lob through ball at that angle that locks your defense up, where you automatically can't defend it and the player runs in for an automatic breakaway. Yes, for those of you who don't play UFL, that's a real thing. For the players who just run in a circle to get the 30-yard, all the way powered up Ronaldo curler that always goes in the corner, or like 98%, right? That's insanity. That's insanity. For the players who literally just go for corner glitches the whole time, or just take one player, L1, R2 sprint, and try to just take one player all the way up the field, they don't even pass. The players that utilize the broken mechanics on defense, the broken spacing, and just pack 8 players behind the ball, don't even defend either. They just allow the AI to defend, right? It's the old school FC style where they don't touch the players. They just essentially let you have to try to pass or dribble through like their whole team, which with the spacing, it's nearly impossible. But it's in like the same area, but why I make it say it's worse over there is because in eFootball, a lot of these guys are spamming different stuff, but they're utilizing the assistance part, which Konami actually added on purpose. UFL doesn't want that other stuff in the game. So these are players who are going, okay, what can I use that's not supposed to be in the game to help me win? That's where UFL falls off a cliff. Otherwise, I would agree with you in that instance. If players are using Smart Assist over and over and over, I would say UFL, but that's why I don't. So that's my take on it. If you guys don't have any other information, or any other questions, let's get into it. Now, here's what I want to see, too. I'll briefly speak on this as I show you. I'm in a session right now, right? Literally, the only 2 modes that I can play right now as a competitor, like that wants to compete and keep climbing and stuff, and then even though it's measly, gets a measly reward, is Divisions versus AI, which thank God they added it. Imagine without it. And then Divisions versus PvP. Because, look at this. I've already got all my events done. Sorry, I shouldn't have went all the way out. I already got all these events done. Literally, every PvP event, including co-op, is done. There's no point for me to just play for a couple hundred GP every game. It's pointless. AI, for the trade-off between the rewards you get compared to playing AI with co-op, it's not worth it to me. The rewards isn't worth the time wasted. So I'm totally done with these, right? More will come out tonight, which is cool. But it shouldn't be like that. FC updates their game daily. Daily. Now, if you don't want to add a new player every day, at least add in a weekly player, not just the ones that players are going to spin for. Which, does anybody know the players coming out tonight? Because it is exciting. But for the free-to-play players, there should be a grindable player that is released every Sunday night, too. Right? Think about that. Okay, here's all these players. Well, all the free-to-play players are like, I don't care about Ronaldinho and Cafu and Roberto. It's going to cost this or that. Okay, add in a grindable player too, dude. Add in a grindable player. Add in players where you actually have to earn it, where you'll know their level of play based on if they have that player. Add one at the highest level where it's like, here's a player you get in Division 1. Here's a player. So, for instance, add in, if I'm going into eFootball League playing PvP, instead of just, oh, Division 1 promotion, advanced skill training times 1, do that, and then add in a Cruyff. Add in a Samuel Eto'o. The higher the division, the better the player. For Division 4, put like a Odegaard or something. Who's, you know what I mean? Like, add in these players so you get rewarded for accomplishing things. Yeah, so I got those already. I got those on versus player co-op. The verse AI, for that reward, it's not worth it for me. So therefore, I got everything. Right? Even if I finish that co-op thing, I'd still be out of events. And then you got tonight, they refresh it. But they don't leave you with much to do in this game, which also chases players away. The one thing that they have is the actual game, and players won't. There's so many players that don't keep the game sacred, that are shitting on the game. So it literally makes it. Remember what I said earlier. Think about how many times, I guarantee you've felt this because I have. You've gone to play the game, and then you decide, you start thinking about all the smart assist players, the abusers of different mechanics, and you say, never mind, it's not even worth playing right now. Because you're done with your events, which are typically more low-key, which you need stuff like that, and you're like, it's not even worth it playing divisions right now. So, yeah, we need absolutely. So that's where I'm at. My goal is with 1,000 subscribers. When I start getting ad money and stuff like that, that's my last hoop I jump through. Then I'm a full-on YouTube partner. I'm already a YouTube partner, but 1,000 subscribers, once you hit that number, boom, it triggers it. You're full-on. That money will be invested for me into the channel to create tournaments and leagues. And that way, you have something to look forward to, right? We play at certain days, and hey, it's league night. Hey, it's tournament night. And then the money from the channel will allow me to get different, whether it's the channel, whether it's subscribers to any of my memberships, or coaching money, whatever it is from this channel. Super thanks you can give on each video. All that will go towards those things. And that's the biggest thing that I see too. And same for UFL, but for UFL it would be because you could play leagues and tournaments without the exploits, right? If you do an exploit, you simply send me the screen grab, boom, the player's kicked out of the tournament or league. It would be a no exploit league and tournament. No corner glitches, no lob through ball glitches, nothing. If you accidentally, and this is how dumb that game is, but to get around this stuff, you have to do something like this. If you accidentally served a lob through ball that locked up the defenders, you were just by that angle and you served it, simple. If you don't want to get kicked out, give your opponent the goal back. Boom, then we're even. Simple as that. Is it stupid you have to do that kind of stuff? Yes. Is it dumb that Konami makes it to where these leagues and tournaments are needed to play their game because they don't have enough, events, enough stuff? Why wouldn't they be putting this stuff so players can play their game more? It's crazy. All right, Jackson, let me read this. I've been dealing with content issues since I started, but I thought besides us daily players, most people won't finish the challenges. So when Konami looks at the numbers, it's skewed. Besides us daily players, most people don't finish the events I think you're talking about, right? Yeah, I know, Carlos, exactly. It's so annoying. I love it when they come out because it just gives you some diversity, but it's so few and far between. So, spot on with that. And Jackson, you could be right. If a lot of players don't finish them, even though, like Carlos said, you can finish them so quick, that's crazy if players don't. But so my typical routine would be starting with an event game, then go into versus AI, then go into PvP. Well, no event game, so let's go into AI. Here's my game plan, long ball counter. this tactic is released, the biggest thing I changed was I pushed up one of my DMFs all the way into an AMF role. Right? Instead of having Pirlo next to Beckenbauer as another DMF/CMF, I have, Snyder and Cruyff, 2 AMFs. And you see my ranking, you see my overall record. There's nobody that outplays me, so it's working. So let's get into Verse AI. Now, as you can see, my record lately, it's been real tough to get results against AI. Real tough. Yeah, Sundays are awesome nights for eFootball. I wish they would move that to Friday nights, though. And like I said, I wish they would add a grindable player or several grindable players. Add it in your team pass. Get rid of some of the nominating contracts and add in more, even if it's more players like De Jong and João Neves, who they give if you buy it, you get them, which is what they want. They want to get you to buy it. Add in more of those players along the team pass as you grind the game. Simple as that. It's very easy to do. Alright, game plan, boom.
La alineación del Barcelona será el dorsal 1, Vida, el dorsal 24.
Yeah, that could very well be the case. If players aren't finishing them and they're looking and they're saying, oh, there's no point, not enough players play these events, yeah. But that just goes to show you the type of players that are in this game. You get what I'm saying? They're just like, gotta win, gotta go up divisions, and they spam. Don't even care about the whole football aspect. Don't even play the game to complete it or train or nothing. Like, it's crazy to me. It's not hard. It's not like FC, dude. You even have players with FC that complain about having too much content. Imagine having so much content, they say, stop dropping so many players, stop giving so many cups and stuff. I can't keep up. It's overwhelming. Like, if anything, they have a problem on the other side. Imagine having that problem, which would be way better than having too little like Konami, because players can always play less if they want. But the biggest thing is players get FOMO. They feel like if they miss out, they can't compete, which I prove false, because after I left the game, this is why I play AI first, to get this crap out of my system. I left the game for a couple months and went back and still built a top tier team. I should have kept running. That's where I wish I could trigger the run manually. But see, that's the thing. Kohler's a target man. I wish they made more runs once you didn't play to their feet, because a target man isn't just going to stand there looking at you the whole time. If he has a through run, or if that short pass is long, he's going to run long. What the hell? How did he keep that? I know, Jackson. I know. It's crazy. Yeah, Konami's definitely full of cancerous players, man. It's true. Maybe it's not as toxic. I remember saying it's the best community, and I still somewhat stand by that, because I think toxicity-wise, it's less toxic than other places. But, nice. You still have the nonsense. I mean, think about it. You still have the players that are using smart assists, spamming a bunch of shit that aren't really... They probably have all these star players, and they just go for the marquee players in each box. They probably don't even know them. Could care less about using them similar to real life, or how to use them, period. They just use them to spam whatever pass, through balls, crosses, whatever. Like, referring to Roberto Carlos as another edge crosser. We have an edge crosser. You know what I'm saying? Not like Roberto Carlos, who has edge crossing. We have another edge crosser here, and then on this side I'm going to use this edge crosser. It's like, bro, we're talking about one of the best, if not the best left back all time. An iconic, historic figure in the game that people should be pumped about playing with. Especially because he's even more of a beast, I almost think, in Konami. Like, I couldn't be happier with getting him. I said it from the start, though, that Roberto Carlos was actually the player I needed most. Ronaldinho's who I wanted more. You know, but... because I know he's got some unique animations, and the Ronaldinho's in these games, they always do a good job because he's so unique. But Roberto Carlos, I said I need him. I couldn't have never imagined how good he would actually be. This more attacking version of him is insane. I want to score another one of these. Ah. Head it back. See, if you make that run perfectly, you can score on that. You guys, if you guys have been following, you guys have seen me score 2 or 3 times on that. There it is. All right. Schneider's a beast, dude. He's so good on the ball. Great passing, great dribbling. Damn, I didn't expect that. And just reach his foot out all the way there. He must have that new long tackle. Yeah, Septarsi, based on everything I see, I definitely could say they need more servers. Like, for me, I know I just got lucky because, trust me, the servers for me in FC and even UFL, like as of when I've played the game last, I don't really play it anymore, but when I was playing, FIFA servers were by far the worst for me, followed by UFLs. I rarely have lag, though, in eFootball. I know some players have it all the time, but when I have had it the few times, oh my god, it was terrible. Even when I was playing co-op, my connection was great, but I could tell I messed that up. The players I was playing with, I should have cut sharp right. Which, by the way, Bebeto's a beast too. He knocks Villa out of his starting spot. But I know some players have bad connection. I can tell that when there's just even a little bit of lag, based on how eFootball works, like the mechanics of the game, it ruins the game. I left and I totally screwed that up. I knew it once I left my mark. I should have switched players. Half the users are in League 9, that kind of user. Yeah, I know. I see that, Valley. That's where they're at automatically, right? They don't even play. That's what I was asking. Is there any way where we can see the exact numbers? Because I do get games pretty quickly. And I never play players over and over like in UFL. So think about that, dude. Think about that. In UFL, you play repeat players over and over and over. So think about how little users they have. Because if half the players in this don't even play, and I get automatic games quickly and don't play players over and over and over, think about what that means for UFL, who has even less players, dude. Where you play players over and over, repeat times and stuff like that. Play it. Good. Touch. Hit. Get in. Beautiful football, though. I gotta lock in. As long as I never have to wait for games, I'm fine. But I don't play repeat players over and over and over. I'm sure that depends. Nice, but Beto, that's what I'm talking about. I'm sure some players do. Do you guys ever have to play players in any of your regions where you're from in the world? Do you have to play? Is it so few players you play the same players over and over? Like in UFL, or no? As long as that's the case, then I'm happy with the players. Like, I just need new opponents all the time. I don't mind sometimes playing a player a couple times because it creates like a rivalry, but it can't be 3, 4, 5 times and like 20 times over a week. It gets old. But yeah, if you are new to this channel, welcome. Please like and subscribe. We passed up the question and answer type part. So if you want to rewind and watch that, because I know that's the title, go ahead and rewind. If you just want to watch some eFootball, sit back and relax and enjoy some Division 2 action, both AI and PvP. I'm 1 month in. I'm a player that played at the top levels of both FC and UFL, and have a history with playing Konami's football games because of the realism. About a month ago, I decided to come play here and make this the main game on my channel, and I love this game, dude, but I hate where it's at. I love this game, but I hate where the game's at. So it's just it's a battle worth fighting for me, because you're talking about over 25 years of history. I didn't mean to do that fake part. 25 years of history with a reputation of keeping true to the game of football. Realistic games when everyone else was going arcade. Now, have they made a ton of mistakes? Yes. Are they greedy? Yes. Did they try to go arcade a few times too? Yes. But that's just not their niche. Luckily for us, by us I mean the players who love this game for the real football approach, they'll never be able to totally cut ties, luckily, even though they wouldn't heartbeat for money, because that's what they became known for, right? I just can't believe there's not more players. To give you a little history lesson, like I already said it earlier, I'll say it again just in summary. The reason why Konami always went back to their roots over the years is because, oh my god, look at this. They tried an offside trap. Dumbasses. See, the game glitches, dude. The AI assistance, I know, is responsible for a lot of this. Terrible AI decision. Look at this. Look at this. Van Dijk triggered an offside trap. It didn't even work well because Kohler read it like a book. But that's why my player headed it in his own goal when I cleared it out. That's why all this shit happens. That's why Schneider on that open net, instead of putting it where I place it, kicked it right at the keeper. Like, the scripted shit happens all the time. Or if it's not scripted, this glitchy shit. Because they went overbearing with the assistance part. Take that shit out. Terrible decision making by the AI there. Which makes you laugh because you're like, as much as like the AI, the good side of the AI on this would be like the player skills that trigger. Like if a player has the ability to finish an outside curler or a long range shot as opposed to another player, like triggering the animations for a knuckle shot, for a dipping shot. That's good AI. And they're better than anybody with that. The bad AI is the overbearing shit that essentially allows a player to get better results than they would have got. Let's summarize it as that. When players get decisions made for them on pitch, that's overbearing AI. Right? When players get assistance like the other player has quote-unquote momentum against them, that's bullshit. That's changing the outcome of a game. That's not player skill versus player skill. Face him up. Don't change. No change here. Oh, what a ball. Great ball. Great little dink ball. Our division 1 now. So if that's 0.1%, so that's still a nice little healthy amount of players, because if they do the what do you call that? The percentage. So like players like Valley, so that's 0.1%. So let's say that's 2,000. So then 1% would be, what's 2 times 10 is 20k. Or 200,000. So you said 2.2k? Hold on, let me get these numbers right. 2,000 is 0.1, so 0.1. So 20, yeah. So like 20k players, that means would be in Division 2, and then so on and so forth. Because right now, between Division 1 and 2, if that's the case with 2K in Division 1, and that's 0.1% or whatever it is. I'll have to check the percentages exactly, but it's roughly there. Assuming that 1% is Division 2, because it's somewhere around there. I know less than 2% of all players are Division 2 or higher. And I know it drops off from like 1% to like 0.1% from D2 to D1, so there's a huge bottleneck. Clearly getting to... Oh, shit. Oh! Clearly getting to, I got lucky as shit there. To, Division 1 is a huge challenge, which is 18,000 points. I'm at 1,580 because of the drop-off. It's not like 1% to 0.9%. It's like 1%, 1.2% to like 0.2%. And it changes. It goes up and down because remember, players get demoted. Oh, I tried to chip it. I did a fake shot. I probably shouldn't have. I want that outside curler to trigger. Oh, I should have finessed it. I keep forgetting, dude. See, like, in FC, it's opposite. You would trivela it with L2, shoot, and I keep doing those buttons, you know? Oh, I went too far left. It's alright, I won the game, so it's okay. Steam Division 3. Well, no, it's all in one now, Jackson. It's all in one. Steam. All of it's in one, crossplay. You're saying that's your observation from before it was all one ranking? I am using Stadium Custom 010. By far my favorite I've used. Dynamic Wide Custom or Dynamic whatever is 01002. That's a good one, but I like the angle of Stadium a little bit better. It shows a little bit more. Alright, big win. Let's go to PvP and see how we do. I gotta fully lock in. I can't wait to be able to get this PC, dude. The first thing I'm saving up because I'm going to get double monitors and I'm going to stack them. And my upper monitor is going to be all my chat and stuff. Because right now it's mobile. And so I have my monitor and then my chat's smaller. So I have to kind of look away from the screen. Having it right above and pushed back. Because I have a perfect space for my setup. I just don't have any of the stuff yet. But why I'm telling you that is that I'm going to really have to lock in. So if I don't answer you right away, I'm not ignoring you. And there's a bit of a delay in it too. Bit of a delay between me reading and you guys asking. And me answering and you guys hearing. I get the questions right away, but the delay in the answers is what I'm saying. Alright, I'm keeping Bebeto in. I love Villa. He's a beast. But Bebeto's just been flying like a monster, dude. I'm going to keep him in there. But I want him as a poacher, which only triggers for center forward. So we have center forward target man. All right. That's just my OCD kicking in. All right, AMF. So let me look if I want to try anybody else. I love Schneider too much. See, Cantona's got their passing's insane. Now, Tati's really good too, though. He's 102 because I changed his stuff around. Oh, 90-90 finishing in awareness. 90-90. Great dribbling. Great speed. $90-85. Tati being better passing, not better speed, not better dribbling. Let me see here. So maybe Tati for Cruyff. I like Messi, and I was going to take away from his speed because I don't really use him as a winger. Let me see something real quick. Let me play with something. So if I have him as a super sub, I don't want his attacking awareness going down, okay? Too much, which it's at 86, okay? But taking that to 85, and then this, all right? Kicking power, 81, it's in 85. Because his kicking power is pretty freaking important. But if I take that down to 80, all right, and move these to passing, at least 85 is like my cutoff typically. 85 passing, 96 acceleration. So his shot isn't as good. 80 kicking power. His finishing still 95 though. All right, and then stamina's lower, but he's a super sub. So his finishing is good. '97, 90. Stamina, offensive awareness, speed. Alright, so then set pieces. Finishing, I can go down a bit with his finishing. Heat. Passing or offensive awareness. So boom. That's my Messi right now. That's how I would change him. Because if they're your players coming off the bench, I'm not using him as much as a winger, but his acceleration just went up. His offensive awareness went from 84 to 89. He's still great speed. Okay, his kicking power is the biggest one that took a beating, and his finishing goes down a bit, right? But you look at his passing now, he's more of an AMF, which is where I use him. Tight dribbling, I could use more tight dribbling, so I might take that acceleration part down. Let me see this. '98, '80. Finishing. Finishing, take it down 1. Boom. That's my Messi. That's my Cam Messi. So I record these in my phone. Sometimes, like I won't now, but I'm gonna try it out. If I use it and I like him here, I record this. And why I basically took his speed all the way down, increases acceleration because that increases offensive awareness. I don't care about his stamina because he's coming off the bench, right? I wanted to increase his tight possession a little bit. His ball control, his dribbling is great, so his offensive awareness is great. Finishing's a little bit lower, but I found it more important to get that passing as high as I could. So we're going to keep it there because when he comes in for Schneider or Cruyff. Now, what I do is I look at this and say, okay, is this Messi worth it to put in over Cruyff? And because of the finishing and stuff, he's still not. Although Messi does feel awesome in game. Let me see here. Let's see what we got. Finishing, Messi's still one better. Set pieces. I got Roberto Carlos and Schneider on that. Speed and acceleration. Speed, okay. Cruyff, but acceleration. Kicking power. Messi's really hurting. Balance. Stamina. So this build of Messi could be pretty ridiculous. Let's give him a try in there, dude. Let's give him a try in there. Cantona's good, but his passing's a little low for that attacking mid position. And then Tatir Suarez in there. All right, perfect. Dude, you know who else I wanted to look at, though, that's really freaking good is... I know his passing's lower. Vinny, okay. Let me look at this real quick and see if I'm missing something. I wish his tight possession was a little better. But man, his acceleration, balance, and dribbling. he's going to be pretty insane on the ball. Great passing now. So let's see if that lower kicking power really makes a difference. Let me see something. Finishing 84. Because see, he hits bombs. My boy hits bombs. And he's only got finishing 84. He's only got finishing 84. Kicking power's 98. So let me see something here. Let me try it. Let me do something here. Player progression. Kicking 84. So finishing. It only increases kicking power up to finishing 87. Player progression. Only 2 more. Damn. Let's see what that does. I want to see what this does with the lower finishing. I don't think it's really going to matter. It brought his tight possession. It brought his offensive awareness, so he'll have better runs and shit. Thank you, Valley. Appreciate it. Hey, what do you think about this change in this build, dude? Let's see if it makes a difference. I took away a bunch from his finishing and his speed and added it to passing, a little bit to dribbling. So his finishing went from 95 to 85. And his finishing is ridiculous usually too, but I want to see how he does in here. Now, Cruyff typically would be way better. And then Schneider, he's amazing, dude. He's one of those players like Neymar. He's way better. He just feels amazing on pitch, but I haven't really needed him too much. But Schneider's been out playing Cruyff. By the way, Cruyff was my captain. So this is more of an experiment. We'll go ahead and check where the captain's been. This is more of an experiment. Let's see how it goes. Give Cruyff 90 kicking power. Here, let me go back. What does he have right now? He has 90 kicking power. That kicking power really hurts because Schneider finishes bombs, dude. But yeah, this is my Beckenbauer build I'm really happy about. That's my Kohler build. As you can see, I gave him a little bit of dribbling. Finishing heading's brilliant. His jumping's just not good. He's a great hold-up man. With one-touch passing and through passing, he comes in big time. But Beto's been playing amazing, by the way, dude. Amazing. Actually, I need to look back into this because I learned a lot after I... Alright, so finishing set pieces. So he's at 94. I don't really care about the curls and stuff, but I want his finishing as high as possible. Speed, so stamina 89. This, balance, 96 balance. His dribbling's good. See if there's anything I can play with on this. Cruyff's dribbling. Alright, so what would you take from then? The speed part, for sure. But hold on, let me look at this. Speed, kicking power. ABO or speed, kicking power, stamina. Speed, kicking power, stamina. So 94, 90, 89. Then you have acceleration, balance, and offensive. So the acceleration I can't play with because I want his offensive. I could take from his speed just a bit. There we go. How do you like that? Kicking power. Yeah, but kicking powers with... Yeah, that's what I did. Yep. So I did exactly what you did. All right. Passing, I went high. So now I'm going to keep that speed at 92. Speed, kicking power. Stamina goes to 86. So I'll keep it like this. Wait. There we go. He's got Fantasista and Technique. But you guys realize the boosters don't even matter because all you do is say you get Technique and it boosts ball control, dribbling, and tight possession. All you do is just take the stats off of that. If they line up this way, they don't always line up this way, but a lot of times, depending on which ones you get, you can just take that point off and put it somewhere else. You know, the boosters are a pretty big sham. Dribbling, I can bring down a bit now because now I have him at 92, 93, 92. I can bring him to... Oh, wow, it's only 1 point, so yeah, never mind. I'm just going to keep that on dribbling. And then I put that 1 on physical strength so he's got at least 75 physical contact. Because they say that 70, I guess 75 is that trigger for, 75 apparently is the trigger for shielding. Or did that change to 80? Yeah, 75. Alright. Yeah, so I want that animation though. That shielding animation comes in handy for sure. If they can shield. Because I'll tell you what, right now, that's where Messi does take a hit. So let me look at this again now that I changed this around. So we got Cruyff. I just love how Messi feels on the pitch, man. But honestly, it's hard to put him in here. I'm going to try it, though, just once. Yeah, I'm going to keep Cruyff like that. I'm going to try one game with Messi here. And let's see how it goes. Oh, no, this is what I wanted to do. I want to play with my man over here. Because, look, I love the speed acceleration. I want his dribbling's good for a striker, but this one can go down a bit to 94, 95. It takes his stamina down, but he's a poacher. And I think I put towards his dribbling and finishing. Physical contact 65, so that sucks. But dribbling, if his dribbling's higher. Shooting. Okay, and then I do it one more. Boom. So he becomes 93, 95. His dribbling goes to insane levels. And his finishing's 92, 95. I think this is better. He's a monster, dude. He is a... People... Dude, I get sick of people calling him a poor man's Romario. Bro, he's insane with all... And then this is what I gave him. The one I got to take off, obviously, is man marking. I did this before I had my... You know what? Let me see if I could do this, by the way. Position training, skill... Oh, I'd have to delete... I have to delete one first. Well, first let me see if I have enough to even do a legacy transfer. I don't think I have it yet. 205, yeah, I don't have it yet. What's up, Froggerino? So I'm going to keep Bebeto like this. And I'm going to see how Messi does with these changes. I need high stamina on Carlos. Because he's running his ass off up the pitch. His passing's good, his dribbling. I could honestly take away from some of that. Oh no, I took his defense away. Lower body. There's not much I could do. Wait, acceleration. It's 95. I really like where he's at here though, because yeah, I don't think I messed with him. He's been playing so good, dude. Finishings. I could do finishing. Yeah, I know. He's amazing, dude. I hate when people say that. The one dude I booted out of here would always say that. That one fucker that got a hidden name and then came in here and talked trash, was acting like he was like for the channel and shit. Got a hidden name, and my buddy Boomfa goes, dude, that's the same guy. That's John. I go, that ain't John. Sure enough, I go into Discord and this fucker faked a name. That's a whole nother story, but he would always talk trash on. I found out he was like a hidden toxic motherfucker. And me learning the game still, he had a lot of help though, dude. I'm not gonna lie. He did a lot of good stuff. I'll never take the credit away from how he helped, but I got led down a lot of wrong directions listening to his shit too. So this is where I think I'm gonna keep him. I'm thinking about taking away from some of that finishing though. Where would it go if I zeroed it out? 74 finishing. And put it more towards... No, that would be crazy. $75 finishing. Then added to the stamina part. Do it like this. It only adds 1 to the stamina, but whatever. We're going to keep that. Alright, let's get in. I could do this all day. I'm a nerd with this stuff. A big thing I love about eFootball, that's what I mean. There's so many things I love about this game. So when I'm so critical of it, and I talk about the dumb shit that, like, FC does better, bro, it's no different than my playing career, bro. If there's a striker that was doing better than me, like, holding up the ball, I'd be like, dude, I'm shit right now at holding up the ball. Like, Johnny's fucking killing it, or Tommy's holding the ball up. I gotta hold the ball better. No one's gonna recruit me over him. Or I gotta get better with my right foot. Shit right now. Like, you don't get good by just kissing the game's ass. You know? You just don't. Alright, let's see what we got in here. There's a game plan. Alright. Interesting. What a weird team. He's got that crosser, so he's going for the crosses to Luca. So what I do for this type of thing is I go individual instructions, defense 1, man marking, Arojo, put him right on the header guy. If it's more of a dribbler guy, I do tight marking. If it's a header guy, I do man marking. I was close to going for Saliba or Koundé to replace, but honestly, I like having that one destroyer, Arojo. I just can't press with him, dude, because he will naturally just take off as a destroyer and press. Alright. I'm ready. We know what to expect. We already know what this opponent's going to do. He's probably going to have smart assist on. Jose, he's going to be playing... Oh, wow. This is an LBC. Okay. He's definitely going to be... He's not going to be playing out wide. He's going to be playing long ball. So we already know his players are going to take off on the runs. His defense is going to be deep. So honestly, with that deep defense, there's going to be this hole in the midfield right in here to keep the ball. And I'm going to be able to receive it further up the pitch. And he's going to have those overlappers, so I'm going to have Carlos cheating up, and he could be able to take this space big time. Because his wing backs are going to be shooting up. Was Costa Curta, so that's perfect. So that means on that left side, I'm going to be able to shoot up with Carlos. All right, let's go into this. Let's see how we do. I think long ball counter because I use super cancel to pull my players too. And it works for me as a possession type of... If my players are through, they're through. I'm playing them. But what I typically do is play it as they're making those runs away. Super cancel, call them two, and it's like a striker checking away, pulling the defender away, and then coming to the ball. And it creates that little space between the attacker and the defender. So I love long ball counter. And with that deeper line, you have a good enough space to do it. Quick counter is too high of a line to do that. You got to have some space, and you play that ball up the field, you quick cancel. Now when super cancel doesn't trigger, it can be a problem. So if you have a shitty connection, how I'm saying to play it might not work as good. Good, go. Boom. You're in. Terrible ball by Kohler, otherwise that could have been great. Could have been way better. Alright, this is a left-footed shot. Yes! Oh my god, it almost worked. Come on, man. Reward a boy. Reward a boy. Best set piece, guys. Take note of that. And when I send Messi away, if Messi's run's better, I can lay it off to Messi, but they got to have a good run. Come on, Petey. These players that do these aerial only like play styles. Oh, ran up with the wrong player. Good ball. Ah. You're in, Messi. Terrible touch. What the... I gotta get used to this. It's a little laggy, guys. Look, super cancel, come to. See what I'm saying? Boom, now you're through. Good. Yes, what a goal. See, I don't spam it. But if it's on like Donkey Kong, baby. See how I super canceled that? That's what created that goal. Look at that space Bebeto had. That defender went running away. Now it's a little laggy, so I got to get used to in here. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull Schneider more CMF. I'm going to get Messi. I'm going to keep Messi out here because that was working good. This is open. Then Zanetti still has space to overlap. And I could play him. But look at these triangles. Bing, bing, bing. Bing, bing, bing. Not take a row out of that triangle, but bing, bing, bing. Bing, bing. Augenthaler can play good, but Beckenbauer, Zanetti, Messi. Kohler, Bebeto, Messi. Kohler, Bebeto, Kohler, even Schneider. There's triangles everywhere. Yes, Schneider's a beast everywhere. Schneider's one of my favorites, and I had him on the bench for a while, dude, which is crazy talk. But that was one of those things I was listening to the wrong people. Oh, Schneider's not good. Don't even spin for... Schneider's been one of the keys to my attack and best players for sure. I did that all wrong, by the way. I did that all wrong. That's why I love, dude, the punishment for bad plays. You got to be spot on. If you're not using Smart Assist, that is. If you're using Smart Assist, then it makes up for terrible decisions. Oh my God. I anticipated him to come to me, which is stupid. Fuck, dude. I keep calling my players too late. All he's doing is this, by the way. He's doing this, sending them, pass, 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 pass. See what I'm saying? It's not like it's the hardest thing in the world, but I couldn't switch my defenders in time. Now, I don't know if he knows that or not, but I'm just saying it's not like it's the world's greatest thing. All I did wrong there was call my defender forward. Alright, he got his goal back. Stupid move there. He's going to play it out here for sure. It was definitely a good goal, but I'm just saying, for you guys looking at that thinking, oh, I can't play like that, because there's some players who do, you absolutely can. See what I'm saying? He's not. Don't get intimidated by that nonsense, moving the ball around. If I didn't call my my center back forward, he wouldn't have scored that. Good, you're in. Ah, come on. But that's at the higher level. You got to get used to not forcing it, dude. Or sorry, not pressing at the wrong time. I'm gonna push Roberto Carlos up too. See, it's just a bunch of give and goes is all it is. Alright, come on. See what I'm saying? Once I call them up, that's what he's going to look for. So once I press, when you press, you can't turn off the press. If I'm using R1, I got to be careful up by his strikers. As soon as I use R1, he's going to look for that through ball each time. So here's how I'm going to do this. So Baggio and Holmes, Reminger. Okay, so he subbed him out, so I wasn't man marked on him, but he didn't score on a. So individual instructions, man marking, Arojo on Ruminage. Then we'll go tactics, individual instructions. Baggio and Honus, he's looking to play back and through to them. Alright, and then through this middle. We're going to go on the attack. Hold on, let me do this again. You can spray these balls through the middle here and help on defense. Alright, and then Zanetti's going to be running up the right. Yes. Yes. Dude, the delay is fucking crazy, guys. The delay is crazy. Oh, and he turned Smart Assist on too, by the way. I don't know if you guys noticed that. I don't know if he had it on or not, or if he turned it on, but you'll be able to tell. See? It triggers it automatically. It triggers it automatically. I'm turning it on, guys. I'm turning it on. I was out playing him from the start. Then he turned on. Then he started playing well, but he turned on. So you'll see the difference, dude. I hate when this happens. He wouldn't have scored that otherwise. Seen it 1,000 times, and I'm going to show you guys. That shot that I had with Kohler earlier would have been a goal. He's a fucking loser. These players are losers, dude. We had a good game going. He was actually, after I scored on him, he was outplaying me. And then he turned it on. I could tell by the instant stunning passes. Why are there so many losers, bro? Notice I didn't say something the whole first half when he was outplaying me. I'm not going to lose to the AI, though. I'm not going to lose to the AI. All he had to do was shoot. He didn't even have to make his own decision there. Maybe he would have scored it himself, but guess what? We'll never know. Because there's losers like this that play this fucking game, bro. Why? Because you couldn't... What, you were scared of me? You were outplaying me, you idiot. See how it triggers that? See how I can tell? Notice when I turned it on, it triggered the right moves. So I'm going to do the same thing, and now we got AI versus AI. This is the game, but guys, this is why the game's a loser game and why it makes you want to go turn on FC. Because you can do all this stuff. Look, it triggered that perfect pass. Look. Oh, it hit him, but you'll see. It will trigger perfect shots, perfect passes. Notice that instant stunning shot that triggered. That's how I knew the opponent used it, and notice he scored. Look what he's doing, dude. He don't even play football. Fucking loser. He was outplaying me, and he wants to win so bad. Why, bro? Why? You're dog shit. You're a fucking loser. How are you raised to where this is what you decide to do? How are you raised like this? Where instead of competing one-on-one, this is what you use. Like a fucking loser. How? Please tell me. I'd love to know. Look, it triggers perfect passes. So now it's going to turn into one of these games. Now what would have been a good game for you guys to watch, for everything, it turns into this. This is what it turns into. Because you got losers like this. And don't worry, we will spread his name. Don't worry. Fucking loser, bro. What's the point? This dude doesn't got a channel. This dude doesn't got a channel. Dude, it was a perfect game. Somebody messaged this dude, try to get him into the game. I'll tell you this thing. Try to get him into the fucking thing. This is a perfect example. Unite, capital D, dash Venezuela. Unite, UNITE, capital D, dash VENEZUELA. Unite, capital D, dash, the sideways one, dash VENEZUELA. Get him into the chat and let's hear. He was outplaying me. I literally had a good play, a good goal. He was outplaying me. And he turns on Smart Assist. Yes, if you guys are wondering how big of a difference it makes, the difference between that shot he had going in and getting saved. The difference between, you see some of the passes I'm making? Those passes would not be that perfect pass that I had. That was essentially a clearance. Look, he's just clearing it now. Look, he knows what's gonna happen. He's a fucking loser. You saw him the whole first half. He didn't do this. He's a fucking loser, bro. How did Konami not know this was going to happen? How did Konami not know? I want you to go back to the whole first half. He was outplaying the shit out of me, keeping the ball. Did you hear how I was then? Could care less because it was him doing it. Message the shit out of him and get him in here, somebody, please. Keep messaging him. Keep friend requesting him over and over and over. I really want him to come in here. Please do me that favor if you guys don't mind. Just keep friend requesting, keep messing him. I don't care if it messes him up. He deserves it. I want him to come in here and say, bro, you're outplaying me. You're playing a good game. You're clearly not a new player. Are you such a loser that you couldn't stand playing? I mean, you were outplaying me, bro. I tried to pass that out and it cleared it for me, guys. That's what this does. Look at this. Loser, bro. Loser. Bottom line. Look what he's doing. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. This is what you face, dude. This is what you face. I didn't do that. This is what you face over and over. Look, I already know where he's going to go. They're ruining the game. Look at the difference between this and the second half. Look it. And then it auto completes a pass. He was in trouble. It auto let him out of trouble. It's a fucking joke of a game, dude. I could care less anymore because I'm not even playing I'm not even playing him. This is what this game has turned into. So why would anybody play this over Bayern FC? Look at this. Look at this loser. Look at this, bro. Look at this. Look at this rat. Why is anybody... Who is going to tell me that eFootball is not a trash game because of the players? Which I have a video coming out more about that tomorrow. And yes, I know that I'm causing some of it now, but it's because he already ruined the game. It's not even him. It's already done with. Now, will it be fun to beat these guys eventually? I guess, if you want to say that. But look at this. This isn't gamesmanship or anything. This is a fucking loser. So here, let's go do this. Let's see. Do I have timeouts? Let's do this. Let's get our subs in. I don't have them. Yeah, I do. Start messaging this dude nonstop if you guys don't mind. United-Venezuela. We're blown up. They don't have something where I can report him for like wasting time and shit either, like they do in UFL. Why don't they ban these guys? Why would they want these type of losers in the game? He was outplaying me, dude. He was outplaying me. So you're telling me if I show this game, this is going to make people want to come play. What was wrong with that first half to make him do what he did? What was wrong with it? I'd love to know. I'd love to know. Look at this. It turned the game into dog shit, dude. Look at what the game turned into. Look what the game turned into. That second half turned into a joke. These losers ruined the game. And what do you get for a win, by the way? What is he going to get for a win? What is he going to get? He ain't going to get shit. He ain't going to get shit for the win. What was the point of it? Look at this. What was the entire point of this? I'd love to know. I hope somehow I pull this off. Fucking loser. What did he get out of that? What was the point? And Konami lets this happen. Why? Because he spent his money? He didn't even do anything. He won the game off of a shot from the computer. How is that worth it? Does anybody think I'm wrong there? The whole first half he outplayed me. I didn't say a word to him. I'd love to know. I'd love to know. Pass around back on stream. I love to know. Like, I want him to come on and talk so you guys can see that. I'll talk to him super professional. I want to literally know. So why would anybody want to play? How is that even fun? The dude didn't even do anything himself. Did you notice the whole second half? The first half, he was just moving the ball around the back. I was saying it the first half. I was like, all we got to do is watch ruminage, this and that. It was tactics. And I showed what he did. Now, if I don't... So then he gets that shot. I noticed right away, right at the start, right before the pass, he does a stunning pass, then scores a goal, and then the rest of the time just kicks it up. It ruined the entire game after that. So guess what it makes me want to do? This is what I mean by it breeds toxicity. Look, this is a top 946 player that I was outplaying, and then he outplays me after that the whole rest of the second half. But I out-football him, make it 1-0. Wait, I just messaged him, though. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, wrong player. Hold on, I gotta tell the guy wrong player. That wasn't. Guys, this is the wrong guy. Online on PS app. Oh, no, he's online on the PS app. Hold on, I'm missing. Oh, no, this was last night. So this is a different player. Wrong player, I gotta tell him. Wrong player. Wrong player. LOL. So that dude's across platforms. Is anybody on here from Xbox? He is a high rank. I told you guys, this is what represented by this game, dude. 946. Somebody on Xbox try to get him in here, dude. We gotta make that a goal. I'll tell you his name is, well, you can see it. What am I talking about? It's Xbox. Cabrito. Somebody try to get him in stream. This is what makes people quit the game. There's no reason, bro. After I scored that goal, he tied it. I pulled my Arojo up, and then he tied it. My mistake. But he outplayed me the rest of the fucking half. Now, did I have an answer for it in my head? Yes, but I never got to see if it worked out because all he did, that's what those players do. That's how I knew that dude I played in the friendly that I knew was being a total douche. Look what he did. Every time he got it around back, what did you notice? Just like when I turned it on. It turns purple. Those passes that no one would ever do stunning passes on automatically become stunning pass. That's how you can tell. Right then in game, the game was over. Because how many shots do you see me take? My Kohler shot, for instance. They would have perfectly powered my Kohler shot. That would have been 2-2 right there. For what? For what? And if you don't think it ruins the game, did you guys notice the difference between the first half and the second half? All he did after he took the lead was pass around the back, and then he took one shot, then he passed around the back. That was it. And then cleared it up the field because the fucking AI corrects it and turns it into a good pass. So tell me one reason why anybody would play this over that. For anybody just joining this right now, for one, please like and subscribe, because the only way this is ever even going to be addressed, if you really want this game to work, is we're going to have to spread this loud and proud. We have to get players like this to where they quit the game. Literally. Because this is never going to spread. This is ruining. Every one of you I know feels what I just went through without a doubt. And it's because, dude, Smart Assist isn't for higher level players, because if you have a game that's close, that one shot determined the whole game. That could have been a 1-to-1 back and forth battle. I didn't even get to see if I could answer his showing back, laying off and through. And he didn't even play the second half with it. He was so scared. So that's a mental victory for me. I'm 1 month into the game, and I just took a top 1,000 player, top 946 to be exact, and scared him so bad that he turned on Smart Assist and started clearing the ball like a little pussy. Yeah, but it takes a long time, dude, because you got to think. You have to get as smart as the AI. Because clearly this dude wasn't like a bad player, but he wasn't a good player, and he let AI win the game for him. So he's a loser. By the way, you can't use Smart Assist in pro events, dipshit, so where are you going from here? What, do you want to go brag to your mom that you're 946? You don't have a channel because no one's going to watch you use Smart Assist. No one gives a shit. 946 isn't good enough to be pro, so you're a good player in your own mind? What, you want a fucking training program, advanced training program? The fun of this game is in competing with another player. Are you such a loser in life, Cabri, whatever? Just like that dude I talked to the other day. Are you such a loser in life that you can't face a man one-on-one in a competition, right? You probably would cheat in a coin flip and bring a two-headed coin. But when you're such a loser in life that you need to win in something so bad, this is the result you get. You actually weren't doing bad, but you're so insecure, which is a loser's mentality, that you couldn't complete the second half and outplay me enough to take the lead. You end up getting scared so bad that you turn on a rookie setting and then play like a rat. Pass it around the back, clear it. You know how many games I could have done that? How about the game, the lag switch, when I was passing it and he lag switched and tied it? All I had to do there, that dude couldn't touch me. I could have just kept clearing it. I outshot that dude, 14-2? I could have literally passed it around the back the whole time. You guys could count endless games where I've showed it on stream. I'm not just talking the talk. I walk the walk. These are the losers that have to get rid of. So, anybody that watches this in the future that's watching this now, feel free, if you're on Xbox, because I can't reach out to him, feel free to let Cabrito _SD know. And if you want to see, if you're just joining, go watch that game back and you'll know why he needs to get everything that's coming to him. Because he's ruining the game for everybody. All that time we're putting into changing stats, to doing player builds, the money we're putting in, the excitement we get is all thrown out the window. You'll never know if I would have won that game or not. You'll never know. He'll never know. But losers like that don't care. All he looks at the end is this result. Bro, that first half was fucking fun, dude. I was looking forward to trying to stop his passing and moving. As I'm explaining it to you guys, like what I'm seeing, like football-wise from a coaching perspective, which is cool that it ties in so well with eFootball, but then they shit on it. And yes, Konami, for letting them, are fucking idiots, but we can't count on Konami to fix it. We have to speak up before they're going to do that, because right now they're just happy to take Cabrito _SD. He's a dumbass, so they're happy to take his money. Right? Again, there's no way the dude has a channel, any time of stuff. You guys can look it up. Yeah, but that ain't going to do nothing, I don't think, is it? Intentional goals, sabotaging the team, suspected automated control, game data, abrupt match termination, failing to participate. Which one would it be? Definitely this one. Inappropriate. Suspected automated control. Definitely automated control, but you guys gave it to him. Failing to participate. That's another one for sure. Failing to participate. Konami gave it to him, but hey, he definitely failed to participate. Automated control. Yeah, Konami, half the time it's because of you fucking idiots. We cannot guarantee that all reports will be investigated. You mean none will be, you fucking liars? Yeah, this game's a joke. Now, I'm not saying, again, I know that the other companies are bad too, but I'm just saying, look what they did. How did they not know this was going to happen? And how am I the only player that's raising hell about this? That's the whole point, is that it's me versus you, not me versus AI. Bro, we have a versus AI mode. He's getting the credit for something he's not doing. And if you guys don't know, and you didn't see some of those passes, bro, I was fully on tilt, just basically trying to get the ball up because he kept clearing it. And did you notice some of the beautiful balls it played for me? So imagine these losers, and they're using it the whole time. Imagine what that changes, guys. It's worth being in an uproar about. It's insanity. And they tried to pitch it as, oh, for new players who just want to relax and may not want to think about all the difficult controls. Now you have a way. AKA all you players that are quote-unquote top ranked that are losers, that apparently don't want to really play football. You just want to win at something. You want to be high rated. I mean, these guys aren't sharing content. It would be one thing, let's say there's a whole bunch of ratty, like the Medicina. He's essentially catering to the rats. Now, apparently he's a rat himself. Clearly, look how he plays. But why do you think he's got 50,000 people? What does that tell you about eFootball? If you guys wonder when I'm talking about how it's a disgrace and always compare it to where FC's doing better, that's why. Your biggest, by your, I mean eFootballers all these years from that were here from the get-go, because I was at FC originally. Your biggest content creator, tell me if there's a bigger one in North America, like in this region, which I know he's from the Middle East, but North America wise, out of all the people I could look for in North America, or even in Europe, he's got more viewers than the Irish dude. He's got more viewers. You guys tell me if I'm wrong. So if you really want this game to be good, if you really want to play football and that's what you're about, right? The shit that we were talking about before the game, going into the game, then follow me. If not, if you think that any of this shit is normal or cool, just unsubscribe and follow right now. I could care less if I go down to 2, because it's some loser ass shit. If you're for this, then you're honestly, you got to go look in the mirror, because you're probably literally have a yellow belly and are without a doubt a coward. Why do I say that? The same reason why some people say it's stupid when the generals back in war days would go, some generals would want to go talk to the others. They'd go into their camp and the generals wouldn't kill the other generals. They'd let them go back and fight a war. They could have ended the war right there before anything, but it's a man-to-man word thing. You let the other generals come, you talk your piece, and then the next day you try to kill each other, right? When you do a Mexican standoff and you agree on 10 paces, you don't cheat and turn around at 8 paces. You go 10 paces, you turn, you see who's the better man with the pistol, the loser dies. And even then, men are able to battle 1v1 and whatever it is and keep their word. The same reason why battleship captains go into battle, the captain goes down with his ship. He doesn't jump off and run away like a pussy. He's the last man off or he goes down. These dudes can't even play a video game man-to-man. These dudes can't even play... Okay, Germany, yeah. He's Middle Eastern, but he's in Germany. Valley, 100% true. He is like Dagger in UFL. But these pussies nowadays, they can't even play a video games. Think of the men they are. Right? This is something that we do... like to compete. This is our new, like the new age golf, bowling, stuff like that. These pussies can't even play a video game. We're trying to play football. How much can they possibly respect football? They're doing the equivalent of if there was something as a real football where, you could ride a fucking scooter to make runs and then hop off of a motorized scooter to go score your goals or something. They would be the douchebags that go, hey, we can use... It takes away the competitive integrity. Oh, well, Konami lets me do it. It's a joke. Guess what? Back in the day, no one made a man step 10 paces before he turned in a duel. He just did it. Oh, well, it's his fault. He should have turned quicker too. No, dude. It's literally competition, and their competition was life or death. That's what a real man is. Now, you could say it's dumb all you want, but guess what? If the death part's dumb, look at any other competition where it's man-to-man and there's no cheating. Why do you think in boxing, when there's cheating, it's so frowned upon and you can go to prison? Because it's life or death. And even there, man-to-man, right, they're able to battle. They don't have all this bullshit. But you can't even play a video game where you're sitting there for no other reason than to play a football game and you can't even lose. You're at your house. No one knows who you are. No one gives a shit about you. You're 935. Bro, you're not good enough to be a pro, yet you're not like low enough to where I could see why you would be just, I don't give a shit. You're clearly putting time and effort into the game, yet you can't even compete. You're so insecure about yourself that you have to take shortcuts. I mean, that is a pussy. So he's got to live with that for the rest of his life because he's not really winning anything. It's the same thing if I was looking at any trophy right now and I knew I cheated or did any bullshit, like looking at a trophy actually. I would still be haunted by it. I'd probably have to throw it away because I knew I didn't really earn it, right? And if you don't feel that way, then you're definitely a yellow belly coward at heart. It's about competing. It's about earning it through your hard work, through your effort. As a real footballer, the extra running you do, the extra work you do, shooting, passing, the extra time you spend going over what you ate that day that made you feel good so you know that you want to keep on that routine. How quickly or how early did you eat before the game, right? What training regimen did you do that week? Why you felt so good and you didn't feel burnt out? Like I used to keep all of it. I have it journaled. I have a journal here with all my favorite player builds, the different player builds I've tried, the different tactics. I have a whole list of all the different players I have in different positions. I have them all ranked. I put a lot of time and effort into this, not even just what you guys see, right? and then I go out and I want to compete. These losers can't do it. I put a lot of time and effort. I did in my own career, and it got me way higher than a lot of players who are better than me probably, but just didn't put in the time and effort that I did. So, the point is that when you're putting time into anything, it should matter to you. And we put a lot of time in these games, and to have losers like this dude that's able to do this shit, even though he was outplaying me, there's a good chance that he could have won without it, or would have won, could have won, but we'll never know. That game, as far as I'm concerned, is a tie. And it shouldn't even be a tie. It should just be Cabrito's done. He's a loser, because if he's willing to do that, what else would he be willing? Because even if he just used Smart Assist, he could go with, oh, well, Konami lets me. Oh, really? So Konami also lets you pass around the back from the start of the game. They also let you just clear the ball the whole game. But what if you did that? Konami lets me. No, you're a loser. Yeah, a lot of players do, for sure. Might be better off trying to crack EAFC at least. It would be so negative. Yeah, but that's the problem, dude, is that it might be for you, Monkey, which I get, but it's draining. Think about how draining it is for me. The thing, though, is there's a lot of players that are going through this every single game, and then they leave the game. So you better believe those players who want this to stop will join in, because no one likes that feeling of loving a game and then having it ruined. And I'm not even at 1,000 subscribers yet. Think about when it starts getting actually spread. Think about the players in Europe, in Asia, everywhere. Think about all the in Japan and China. Dude, they are huge, huge as a culture, right? On honor, on integrity, on competition. I guarantee, just like everywhere, they have their rats, and I guarantee there's players over there that go crazy. I guarantee it. The thing is, yes, you can play good football in this game, but you're right. Now, FC has its own shit I'd be negative about, but the point is that if you don't do what I'm doing right now, it never has a chance to get out. Right? And the reason why it happens so much over here is because it's damn near every opponent. It's damn near every opponent. Hold on, guys. I gotta do something real quick, then I'll be right back. I will be playing, don't worry. But I totally get what you're saying. You have a point, but I'm not one to quit or run away from a fight. And until I see that it's an unwinnable fight like UFL, I'm still hanging on. I'm not going to give up until, as long as there's still some of my community that play that game, I'm not going to abandon it. But notice where I'm at right now, because Strikers showed they can't fix that game right now. I mean, they keep making it worse. eFootball, on the other hand, this is a brand new thing. Smart Assist to help these losers is brand new. This is the first phase. And I hope to God there's enough players, enough integrity within Konami to see that this was a huge, monumental mistake. They either knew this was happening, which is what I think, or they're that naive and thought that only lower level players would use this and didn't know how many little yellow belly sissies there were in the higher ranks. But I just don't see that. I feel like they knew, but let's just hope there's enough noise, because I'm not seeing it. But that's exactly why I'm doing it. So I'll be right back, and I'll get back into a game. Well, I hate to end it on this rant, guys. I will be back in, literally, it could be 20 minutes, it could be 45. I will be back, I will be playing. I have to go handle a business situation. Not a bad thing or anything, but it does demand my time right now. So sorry there was only one game, but then again, it could be good because now that is what will be highlighted. Because I want people to note this when you're watching this now later. Look at how fun it was going over the stats, looking all that, looking in the game, going over my mistake, right, when he tied it, and then looking at how I'm going to beat this player that ends up being a top 1,000 player. That's huge for a guy a month in. And instead, the lower level player would be the one who typically gets scared away, right? I'm 1 month in the game. I'm getting outplayed. I score a quick goal, he ties it, and the 946 player cowards out. That's the problem with eFootball that needs to be addressed, guys. This game could be amazing. There's no reason why me 1 month in is ready to go to battle, and I'm talking tactics and doing all this, and we have some loser that has no consequence to winning or not, and he ruins the whole competitive side. Don't even play then. So I will be back, and I will be playing. But I wanted to highlight that. I will title that for this stream, and it's a huge lesson to be taken from this. If you are anything like that loser that just played, think twice, because it's not worth it. Compete. Put in the time. Battle. Don't be a pussy. I'll see you in a bit. Peace out.